If you're a business owner, you don't need us to tell you running a business is tough. Don't let QuickBooks and spreadsheets slow you down anymore. Now is the time to upgrade to NetSuite by Oracle, the world's #1 cloud business system. NetSuite gives you the visibility and control over your financials, HR, inventory, e-commerce, and more. Join the over 21,000 companies using NetSuite right now. Schedule your free product tour right now at netsuite.com/C-suite. netsuite.com/C-suite.
Welcome back to the Superhero Homies podcast. My name is Quentin, and as always, I am here with the homie Kevin.
Yo, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, how you guys all doing tonight? Yeah.
We just finished watching Harley Quinn episode 12 titled Devil's Snare.
Another one. Yeah, man, episode 12. We learned that there are 13 total, so this is the penultimate episode of season 1.
That it is, and this episode definitely felt like a penultimate. Like even if you didn't know it, it definitely feels like it.
Yeah, if shit hasn't been escalating enough for you, this has definitely made it escalate a lot more.
Yes.
Yep.
And for those of you who are maybe just joining us for the first time, you just saw this awesome episode and you wanted to check out and see what we had to say about it, this is a spoiler-filled episode. Okay, so for all the new homies listening in, this is going to be completely spoiler-filled. There will not be a stone unturned. So there's your one and only verbal warning.
Thank you again for the reading of the rules, my friend. And there you have it, guys. So let's hit the gas pedal.
Yes. What you think of this one?
Yeah, man. I liked it. But I will say this. This episode, of all the ones that we've watched beforehand, this one definitely felt all over the place compared to all the others. Like, we did a lot in this short episode, dude.
Yeah.
We visited a fairy tale. We saw the Justice League. We saw a surprise, reveal of the villain and everything like that. Joker's big ass tower. Mm-hmm. We did a lot of shit, dude.
Yeah.
Do you feel like it felt rushed?
So that is a good question and also a fair question. Mm-hmm. And, that's kind of the thing, because we speak about how this show is typically only like 22 to 25 minutes long, and this show has always traveled at such a breakneck speed. So it's like, it feels like the pacing is the same, but the amount of material they covered is so much more than what it usually is.
That's a good way of putting it. The pacing definitely still felt the same, because they do move at such a fucking pace. A very impressive one for a cartoon. I don't know. It still worked for me, oddly enough, you know? Normally, I wouldn't encourage you to put so many plot points into one episode, to drag it out and let it kind of sit and stew. But this isn't that type of show. This genre isn't that type of thing where you need to sit and stew. In this case, they take advantage of the breakneck pace, and I don't know. It works for me, dude. Mm-hmm. Again, not usual. Not exactly the thing I would encourage, but well done nevertheless.
Yeah. And that is a fair thing to point out, because the pacing is very much, like we've said, breakneck, and it fucking goes, man, and it doesn't stop until it's over. And like, even though it's only, like we said, 22 to 25 minutes per episode, it feels way shorter just because of how fast it travels.
It really is. It is unfair how short this feels. Plus, it's a good show.
Yeah.
So you enjoy watching it. And when you're having that much fun watching a TV show, which this is stupid fun watching, then 15 minutes in, you're like, oh, wait, what the fuck? My show is already over.
Yeah.
And then next episode comes, and then next episode's only 10 minutes long, and you're like, wait, what? I've been here for half an hour. What the fuck?
Yeah.
Yeah. Every week, man. Every week.
And I will also say this, because this does need to be said, especially because there are some weird things we got in the last episode too. There's some weird things we get in this episode.
Yeah.
And that is like, and I think most people feel the same way, but it's rarely stated out loud, and that is, we do give like animated themed like cartoons or movies kind of a pass for some things, depending on the genre, that we don't give to most other things.
Exactly. Like I've been saying for a couple of episodes regarding this Shorty series now. With this genre, I do personally vote to allow to give it to a little bit more breadth and space for more whimsical or even silly and slapstick storytelling methods. I remember an earlier episode where we talked about this exact thing. Mm-hmm. Remember the first time we visited someone's brain,
Yeah.
And they literally drop the almost fourth wall breaking down line. Just don't think about all the brain stuff that hard for the next 20 minutes.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And it's great. In a real life show, okay, wait a minute now. What the fuck is this? What are you trying to do? Talk to me like Kevin Spacey in the House of Cards or something? No. But with a cartoon, okay, I'm digging it.
Yeah. It always depends on how serious the show takes itself. And most times, animated adult comedies don't really take themselves that serious. That's why with shows like this or Rick and Morty, it's like, well, whatever. Sure, Rick can do that because why not?
Yep.
He's a walking ex machina. Like, he can do this. Like,
yeah.
It's just, and so like with shows like this, when I see stuff like this, it's like I'm not really asking myself what type of logical sense does it make. I'm asking myself, is it entertaining? Is it pushing the plot forward? And within the realms of this animated universe, does it make sense for that character?
Yeah. With this, I would vote, yeah, totally does.
So let's go ahead and get into the breakdown of this one. This one starts off with Ivy trying to control the killer trees that are mercilessly, ruthlessly slaughtering people.
Yeah, we hit the ground running in this one. There's no slow build at all. It's just a quick fight in the park where we see demented, fucked up trees and our two heroines.
Yeah.
Or protagonists. Yeah.
Yeah, there we go.
The two important chicks in the story.
And Ivy's trying to get a hang of things on these trees, and then she quickly realizes she has no control, so that's a problem. And the next thing we see here that I definitely had to take note of is Cyborg Man. He's just back to being a human again in a wheelchair.
Yeah, that because he was a fucked up car thing.
That was super weird last episode.
It was so weird. That was a lot.
That was a lot. It almost feels like, and I know this really isn't normal for like the penultimate episode and the penultimate episode to be aired at the same time, but that would have been really, I think, appropriate if they could have done that somehow, given us last episode and this episode together.
Yeah. That way we didn't have to wait.
Well, also just because like these two episodes in particular seem to travel outside the norms of craziness even more so than the other episodes.
True. I mean, it is getting crazier.
Yeah.
Because the trees aren't even the craziest thing that we do this episode.
Oh no.
Yeah. Weird evil tree ants walking around Gotham. Yeah, no, not even.
So I do have a lot of questions about Cyborg Man that I should not even fucking think about.
No, that's really the rule when it comes to Cyborg Man. Just let him be.
Yeah.
He doesn't even have a real name. His name is Borgman.
Borgman. Yeah. But anyways,
But yeah, no, I'm right there with you. Like, it's gonna bother me later on in the week.
Yes. So we get a scene here too with Commissioner Gordon. He's on the rooftop. He's always on the fucking rooftop on this show.
He really is, man.
And he still looks like he's on the verge of a complete mental breakdown.
Always.
And he wants to bring in the fucking tanks. He brings, or Batman comes in and he gives the whole thing about
no tanks.
Yeah. But taxpayers' money. It's already spent.
Jim, I need you to be on top of the situation. I need you to be in control. Can you do that, Jim?
With tanks?
Harvey Dent. Can we trust him? I didn't remember the line, so I just went to a few that are new.
One thing in particular, because like the only reason I remembered this little scene in particular is for one thing that really made me fucking chuckle, and it's when they were kind of expositing about how this all came to be, and Jim Gordon said, "Yeah, it was Scarecrow, that potato sack son of a bitch." That was a great fucking line.
It really was. That potato sack.
Because like in my notes, that's all I had written down for this scene was potato sack son of a bitch, and I was like, "The fuck does that mean?"
That's a beautiful line. Oh, because it looks like a potato sack.
It does. Yeah.
Oh man.
Oh man, there's just some insults that will live on for a long time. This should definitely be one of them.
That is one of them. You know, it's another one. Just to talk about it, and I hope to remind a certain homie out there who's listening to this right now and thinks, "Oh my gosh, yeah, the old cartoon, Ed and Eddie."
Oh,
yep.
Yeah.
Ralph, man, his game was on point, dude. No one could insult like Ralph, man.
Yeah.
Your garden is overgrown and your cucumbers are soft. Yeah. That's pretty dope, man.
Or confess to your crimes, you steal a piece of white bread. That was another one of his.
That was a great one too.
You know, just to bring this full circle again,
Please,
like there's even a panel in the comics when Damian Wayne or Robin, of course, has a gun pointed to Black Mask, and Black Mask goes, "Batman doesn't kill," and Robin goes, "Do I look like Batman, you musty bitch?" Like, it's fucking great.
That is fucking great. I could see Damian say that shit too. Do I look like Batman, you musty bitch?
Like, goddamn. Anyways.
Oh man.
Oh yeah. I got to pull the pages on that one just to verify, because I saw that and I was like, that is too good to be fucking true. Anyways, what we get next here in the show is the Justice League show up.
Yep, and they quickly demolish the situation. They don't fix it, but for everything within the immediate vicinity of Harley Quinn's crew, all the gang, they're all together here. Superman comes by, lasers like 3 or 4 of them, just cuts them in half. Mm-hmm. You know, Green Lantern comes by and he gets a ethereal sword of some kind. Right. He's just like trimming up the bushes.
Yeah.
And Wonder Woman, of course, the bracer
impact. Yeah. I mean, they just come out and wreck house, and then fucking Flash, he's damn near running for every frame he's in. You know, he just so they come in and they adequately kick ass.
Oh yeah, like this is nothing. This is a walk in the park to them.
Literally. That is literally a walk in the park for them.
I'm proud of myself.
You know, your bar for for being proud of yourself is almost as low as Kite Man's. Maybe the same. So the crew, Harley and her crew, they almost get sent to the Phantom Zone, and it's not until Ivy grabs a hold of Wonder Woman's lasso of truth, and she confesses to a lot of truths.
Right.
Yeah.
I didn't control the trees. I hate paper straws. I think they're dumb.
Yeah,
I like jazz. Oh gosh. Oh, I'm sorry. I really like jazz.
Yeah. And NASCAR apparently. Like, wow.
I secretly watch NASCAR. Like, wait, what the fuck? Why?
Yeah. Shout out to other homies that watch NASCAR.
Yeah.
But no, so after that, Superman closes the Phantom Zone. I mean, cause like, goddamn, like that's also really extravagant. You know, like the Phantom Zone, that's like that is the end all be all for prisons. That's like, for those of you who maybe only read comics or Marvel comics, that's like the negative zone when Tony Stark was commander of S.H.I.E.L.D. and he would put all the people that didn't want to cooperate, you know, in there for the Superior Registration Act. Like that's like the fucking you're not getting out type of place. But no, so thankfully they don't get put in the Phantom Zone, but what does happen is that all the Justice League members, with the exception of course being Batman, get trapped in the Book of Fables.
Yep, because Queen Fable comes up out of nowhere, making a vengeance comeback.
Yes, she is very salty about what happened to her.
Oh yeah, yeah.
About being trapped in a book of, a tax book.
And she quickly, kind of removes the Justice League from the situation, but as Harley Quinn comes back and says, hey, it's a good thing we let you live, all of a sudden, the Queen's like, no, it really isn't, fuck you guys, still angry, and plants a magic bean, and up grows a fucking beanstalk that grabs the entire crew somehow. I don't remember how, but somehow the whole crew is stuck
under
up
them.
And it lifts them all up and carries them up to above the clouds to where there is, of course, another Fable sitting there waiting for them. Mm-hmm. This one being a gigantic castle, which seems to scale more to the giants than the common size.
Yep.
Dun dun dun. Which is like, wait, what the fuck? Where did this come from?
I'm also really grateful that they immediately answered a question I had, which is, can Poison Ivy control a magic beanstalk? And they immediately answered it.
Not only did they immediately answer it, it's like, of course you had to know I can't control fabled plants.
Right.
It's like, what? When the fuck would I have known that?
Yeah.
When the fuck would I have known to ask that? You know,
like Dr. Psycho, he has on multiple occasions been like the voice of logic in a lot of these episodes and these moments,
which makes a lot of sense for his character.
It does.
Yeah.
It does.
That big brain short bastard.
Because he was literally a representative of the audience at that point.
Yep.
Can you control plants?
Just take us back down with this plan.
Right. How would we have known that you can't control these?
You know I can't control fabled plants. No, when would I have known that?
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So of course the next thing we get here is the giant, and he is none too happy with them trying to kill them.
Of course, he's like a
cyclops. Yep. Giant ass cyclops giant.
Yeah.
So it's at this moment where our heroes, or I guess for lack of better terms, our squad is in trouble.
There we go. I like that. Our squad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And Ivy, she decides to make a very important phone call.
She summons Kite Man.
She calls Kite Man, who is diligent at work in his apartment with his roommate, working on a new design for Kite.
But he doesn't know the last angle. And he has like a basic ass kite drawn without the hypotenuse. The second hypotenuse on one of the bottom corners. It's like, what the fuck is this? Come on, man.
I mean, like, it's so great because it's not even like, okay, so for example, like, bear with me here for a moment. Like with Vulture, it's like he's just an old fucking man in like a flying wingsuit as far as the comics go. Okay,
right,
the original comic Vulture, but it's like at least he was a very intelligent former businessman who could design tech like that and create something that can do that.
Right,
but Kite Man. He doesn't have any kind of engineering degree.
He's a one-note villain when it comes to his villainy gimmick. But it's just like, there's something missing here, and I can't finish this new design. And it's just literally the last hypotenuse to complete all the edges of the fucking triangle, or the diamond, kite diamond. And
I mean, it's literally just another fucking kite.
Yeah, that's all it is. It doesn't even look special.
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress. He gets a phone call. He quickly answers Harley.
Or Ivy.
Ivy, and he is on the way.
Yeah, he's on the way, and fucking Kite Man. Kudos to Kite Man. Golf clap for Kite Man, because he comes through in a clutch situation. He saves the team.
Plus, we finally get the fun conversation, which I really wanted. One of my expectations and hopes for this episode was more interaction between Harley and Ivy. Because the prior episode from last week, guys, we knew that they were kind of in a tussle with their relationship. Things were rockier. So I wanted them to have more positive interaction, more fleshed out time together. In the middle of this fight with the cyborg trying to outrun it and not be captured to
Cyclops,
whatever the fuck. They're having this conversation the whole time, like, wait a minute, why do you know Kite Man's number off the cuff? Why did he call you babe? Did you call him? You called him babe. What? And of course, the relationship reveal. Wait, how the fuck did you not see that? Everyone else saw it. And Dr. Psycho's like, yeah, no, we all saw this. We all knew it was happening.
Yeah.
How did you not know? And the relationship, it's official.
Yeah, she said that she actually does love Kite Man. She hasn't said it to him personally yet, but she did admit it to Harley.
Yep.
And that is a pretty big step. So Kite Man, he does come through, and he's able to essentially save them all from surely certain doom. Maybe all with the exception of Clayface. I don't even know if Clayface knows how durable he is.
He honestly probably doesn't. Yeah.
Like in the terms of this show, like he is just as scared as like the flesh and blood humans in these situations.
But he's never in danger.
Never.
Like, maybe in the mental scape of one's mind,
like
but
like literally, you have to pull like a fucking Batman animated series from the comics, like superheat his ass so that he turns solid,
or
and then
freeze him.
Yeah,
super freeze him too. You know, but yeah.
The problem with freezing those, like I guess he can fucking get melt eventually.
Yeah, he'll defrost eventually, but in the moment, You got him.
Yeah. But I mean, unless you have one of those two extreme temperature situations, I think he's pretty much fine. Like it's going to take a really specific situation to take him off the board
entirely.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also because I think way too much about this, I was like, Dr. Psycho could mind control that Cyclops if he wanted to.
He really could have. Yeah.
I kind of thought they were going that way until we got the phone call situation.
Yeah.
But no, so after they make it back down, this is kind of what we were talking about earlier, by the way, just like with the pacing of this episode, man, because, we, like you said, we're introduced to the Justice League and then Queen of Fable shows up and now we're in the Beanstalk and like, holy shit, now we're back down on the ground here. Like, we're covering a lot of ground.
Yeah.
I mean, because I could see them spending, an entire episode being up in the Beanstalk.
Yeah, and that would have prolonged things in an awkward way. Really kind of dragging us all over the place again. But I'm glad that we didn't, you know. Because, Kite Man comes in for the rescue.
Yep.
Hell yeah.
So once they are on the ground, Gordon, he's coming through with his tanks, despite what Batman said. Ivy, but Harley's able to stop Commissioner Gordon, and she hijacks the tank herself.
One of the tanks, yeah.
Well, and after that, they head over to blow up the Legion of Doom building, and then it blows itself up. And up comes Joker's tower. The same tower that he talked about and maybe took an idea or two from Harley a few previous episodes ago.
Oh, look, he took my advice and it came up from the ground.
Yep.
Yeah.
And from a thematic visual aspect, it's really effective.
Yeah. Yeah.
You gotta wonder, like, if you work construction, surely like Gotham is the place to be because you're gonna be constantly building stuff for the LOD, and if they actually pay you out, you gotta get paid good. I mean,
I know, right? At that point, you're almost just a construction crew member.
Yeah.
Of the Minion team.
Right.
It's like, oh, what Minion department do you work for? Are you tech? Are you construction? What are you? Yeah.
And also architects. I mean, because that takes some architectural design to fucking, come up with something that. Shit.
You walk around, oh, hi, what's up? I'm an architect for the Legion of Doom. Everyone goes, oh.
I've been there for 5 years, and you're not dead. Oh.
You must be really
good.
Well liked.
Yeah.
The whole Legion of Doom. Do you want to design this building? All right, keep staying alive.
Yeah. That's got to be like, I don't know, being like, because I've been watching like a lot more. I'm on like my third watch through of Breaking Bad, and I also been watching Better Call Saul. Cool. Like it's funny because like as far as like pacing goes, like Breaking Bad and Better Call Saul like the opposite of this.
Yeah.
But it's interesting though because like the dynamic between like people who are kind of innocent but yet compliant in criminal activities, like the disappearer, the guy who works the vacuum shop who makes people disappear. Yeah. I mean, he's technically a criminal, but he's not doing that kind of shit. He's just working with the criminal. Like I kind of picture the architectures and like the engineers being something like that.
Like in reality, he runs the front for a dog grooming business.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. Actually, no, that's a hard one. No, that's a bad idea. Not a dog grooming business. Give me a second. I'm gonna get you a little something. He runs the front for a grocery store.
Oh.
Yeah.
There you go. Yeah. Could be a little bit like a Gus
But a
Fring,
very well managed one, to where the actual real owner of the facility doesn't have to be there except for like 2 days of the week or something like that, because he has managers and assistant managers and shit like that. But then whenever he goes back to ask for a certain product only on a certain day of the week, because if you get there on Wednesday, fuck you, okay? You're going to be sitting there eating your cold fried chicken for 3 hours and no one's ever going to come see you, okay? But
we're getting a little too much Breaking Bad in here now.
Oh, no. There's never a such thing.
That's true.
Oh, yeah. But no, if you go in there on a Thursday and you ask, excuse me, I need the guava honey, please. A guarana honey, please. And then it's like, oh, I do believe we have some here in clearance. Come with me. And then he just walks you to the back office, his back office, sits down, turns off shit, presses a button or something, and then all of a sudden, like, the camera kind of, like, deactivates in his office. What the fuck am I designing?
All right, listen. I work for Two-Face. I need you to design a dual-sided coin car, okay? And this car, yeah, I know. But listen, this dual car needs to be split down the middle. One side white, one side black, one side.
You don't gotta explain it to me. Don't patronize.
I'm sorry.
I've been in the business for 8 years. I'm the only one they haven't killed.
I know, and I heard that you're the best in the business, and the boss wanted me to come to you.
Right.
Oh boy,
this is fun. I could have kept going. By the way, I was ready for some more.
Yeah. I feel like that's like the ultimate line. Like once you drop that, there's nowhere to go.
Oh no, there's always. Yeah.
Oh, anyways,
I should have waited. I wanted to play that out more. Damn it. Okay.
We'll bring it back some other time.
We'll bring it. We gotta go back. We gotta go back to our job.
Oh, yeah. Oh shit. But yeah, so where were we at? Yeah, the tank in Joker's Tower. So at this point, this is when Ivy sees the conveniently draped hose leaking the that's clearly not water.
It clearly isn't. It was once upon a time,
Right.
I'm sure, but now it is very much just whatever chemical compound bullshit, which is the pheromones and the fear toxin.
Yeah.
Yep.
She drinks that shit and grows to a gargantuan size. It kind of looks like that green Hawaiian punch. You ever had that? Like in the container.
Yeah, I never liked that stuff.
You know what was weird? It never got cold. Like Hawaiian punch could never really truly get cold.
Wow. You never think about Hawaiian punch.
It, right.
But yeah, you're right. It never got cold.
Right.
Somehow it's like, what the fuck?
So
How did you not retain temperature?
Yeah, what the fuck was in that shit so that it never got cold?
Right? And green never tasted like green you expected it to. It was off,
Yeah, it was something.
Red tasted like red, and blue even tasted like blue.
It did.
But,
yeah. It was something.
But green was off, dude.
Yeah. And even the consistency of it, like Hawaiian Punch just felt like a tad bit thicker than most liquids.
Yeah,
it was weird.
Huh. We're onto some shit.
We're onto something.
Oh, you know what it is? It's all the extra dosage of Red 40 that they put in that shit. Yeah.
Oh, shit.
Oof.
Well,
just drinking straight potential rage-inducing shit right there. Little nutrition stuff.
And a shitload of sugar. Oh, this for your kids.
You bought Hawaiian Punch. You knew what you were getting into.
I mean, unfortunately, half the people half the generation that raised our generation really didn't know what the fuck they were giving us.
No, this is true. They really, there's a lot of people that didn't give a fuck.
I mean, they gave us Sunny D for breakfast. That's sugar. They gave us, Pop-Tarts and Sunny D for breakfast.
Oh, Cookie Crunch, dude. That shit, like, that's not breakfast.
I mean, that should have been obvious to our parents.
Cocoa Puffs, Fruity Pebbles.
Right.
I wasn't allowed to have Fruity Pebbles because it was too much food coloring and way too much sugar. And Cocoa Pebbles was the same shit.
They got too soggy too quick anyway.
I'll take your word for it because I wasn't allowed to have them. I only was allowed to have them if I was at like summer camp and they had them in those little pre-packaged white plastic like whatever bowls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man. Oh man.
Yeah.
Anyways, we're back.
We're back.
Promise. We're gonna finish this. It is funny.
Tune in next time. We'll talk about what cereals I was allowed to eat.
Yeah. Oh, it is always funny to me how our reviews of these episodes are way longer than the episodes.
We promised it was the shorties, and we only barely hold on.
For us, they are. If it's under an hour, it's a shorty.
It's a shorty.
God damn it. Oh shit!
Daggum how. Okay, take us back home.
Yeah.
Come on.
Okay.
We're running from third to home plate.
You're right. Okay, so at this point, right before she drinks it, though, Kite Man drops a bomb. He gets down on one knee, pulls out a ring box he does not have.
Exactly. He holds an imaginary box and goes with his mouth to proclaim opening a fancy box.
Yeah.
This episode is all over the fucking place. It was so surprising because Kite Man proposing, I was, and at the same time was equally not at all surprised.
Yeah.
Because if you're Kite Man and you have that much confidence to land a woman like that, you trap her. Okay, you engage her and have her be your wife immediately, and you pray that she doesn't divorce you later.
As silly and as idiotic as Kite Man can be, especially in this show, I gotta say, if there was probably any time at this point in their relationship that he was gonna propose, this was the best time. I mean, think about it. You just saved your woman's life. Her adrenaline has got to be rushing.
Right.
She
just made out with you in front of all her friends. So
you probably would have gotten laid if you guys had the time and the privacy.
True.
And like, I mean, so yeah, like just taking all that into account, if there was any time up until this point that she would possibly say yes, this would have been the time.
But she doesn't yet.
She doesn't say. Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
But hey, there wasn't a no. And Kite Man picked up on that shit just like we knew his confidence would, man. He's just like, that's not a no. And he was just like, as pipper and go lucky as he always is.
Man, it's like...
Kite Man, you're invincible, dude.
He really is. There's something to be learned here.
I mean, we all need to have a little bit more Kite Man in our lives. You know?
You know, here's the thing, though, like, for all the fellas out there listening, for all the male homies out there listening, like, I can't say this, I can't stress this enough. Like, yes, we do all need some of that Kite Man confidence, but just a fucking dash.
I was about to say, life is not a comedy like Harley Quinn's TV show.
Yeah, too much, and you become the idiotic creep who... who doesn't know when to walk away.
It is plausible, however, not very plausible at all. It's super, super low chances that shit will play out as well for you as it has for Kite Man. Yeah. So, take it with a dash of salt. Be careful.
Yes.
Yeah. Yes. Mix your Kite Man into your life appropriately, as recommended by your doctor.
Go see your physician, get your blood work done, and let them tell you what the appropriate amount of Kite Man activity should be.
So what did you do for her? Oh, you did that shit? Oh, brother. Ooh, you're taking your dosage too fast.
Yeah. Because it's like, I feel like Kite Man, he skipped the part where you just take the relationship to the next level, and he tried to skip to like the fucking level 80.
I mean, he was happy, so what the fuck? Why not, And now it's just like, whoa, Kite Man, whoa, brother, whoa, man.
Yeah.
Oof.
But, like you said, she didn't say no.
She didn't say no.
What do you think was going through her mind with a question like that?
At that point, not a lot. Like, she was at a loss for words.
Yeah.
It looked like she wanted to say no.
Yeah, I mean, because, here's the thing, though. It's like, I can't really put myself in her position. That's kind of weird, but it's like...
I can't put myself in her position. That's kind of weird. Well, Quentin, brother, I dare agree with you off the cuff. Like, I don't feel like you need more explanation than that. You're not Poison Ivy, or even a woman. For that matter.
A woman. I'm not a woman. I'm not a plant. I'm not.
You're not seeing Kite Man.
I'm not seeing Kite Man. None of that.
I mean, you don't really need to sell me much more on the idea. You've won.
But it's like, okay, so clearly,
but you're gonna sell me anyways. Okay.
Clearly, she loves Kite Man. She even said as much.
Right.
And their relationship has actually, for the most part, been going pretty well.
Yeah.
And like the one snag they hit was actually more so on her and not on him, which is also really telling.
Yeah.
However, like, that's a lot to drop on someone, and like, we don't know the time frame of this show or how long exactly they've been dating, but I'm sure it's been a while, but not that long.
No.
Yeah.
I mean, granted. So with my background, I do know with like the church I grew up in and everything like that, I do know quite a few stories of people who got married after a couple of months, or even as dramatic and as surprising as like a week. In fact, I have a relative who married after a week. You know, I will say this though, it's different for each person. It's different for each relationship.
Oh yeah.
Maybe for Kite Man it could have worked. For my uncle, they've been happily married for more years than I think my parents have. And my parents are close to 30 now, you know? I mean, I don't... Life is fucking weird, man.
Yeah.
That's a t-shirt.
Yeah, life is really fucking weird.
Yeah. So hopefully, Kite Man, brother, you might you might get yours. I don't know. It wasn't a no.
Yeah. You kind of also have to read the room and the situation, not just about how you feel. How is she feeling?
But that's the thing. Kite Man is so good at interpreting his feelings in the most honest and upfront, and
He's self-absorbed, yes,
in even strangely naive way. You know, where it's like, Kite Man, you're so fucking bad at reading the room that you've luck statted yourself out of it. You know. Yeah. But anyways.
So we get Giant Poison Ivy, who proceeds to demolish these trees as she apologizes profusely to them. She counts the rings in one that she rips in half and goes, "Oh, he was a kid." Yeah, that was pretty funny.
Yeah.
But it's also, while she's dealing with the trees, Queen of Fables comes out and she introduces Grandma Wolf to the team, to the squad, and they proceed to. There's a little bit of a chase sequence, and what we eventually get is a situation where I'm also glad they're playing this. The wolf comes back. They had to, right? Yeah. The wolf comes back, and Queen of Fables is like, "Oh, good, you've killed Harley," because we see Harley's head inside the wolf's mouth, and then is Harley in a hollowed out shell of the wolf. Essentially, we're just running the flesh, rips out of that shit, and it's like, haha, that was very thematic, by the way. Like shit, like that you went the extra mile, Harley, for that one.
You really did. I feel like an easier thing to do would have just been to use Clayface right every day of the week. Like, this is really fucking over the top.
Yeah.
I liked the funny bit they did with Sharkman, who's like, it's kind of funny. People will ask who would win between a wolf and a shark. Pops up a wolf femur. The answer's a shark.
Who asked that question?
I have no idea.
Right. I mean, especially like a shark like King Shark, because I'm pretty sure he's like part great white, which is like the fucking Jaws of the ocean.
I saw the loss of words and I was worried where you were going to go with it, and then I was not disappointed. and then before I knew it.
But yeah, so after this, we get the conversation between Queen of Fables and Harley. Pretty much saying that I'm working with Joker. Queen of Fables is saying this because he's actually really evil. Okay, he's not your soft brand of evil. He's actually evil.
Yeah.
Which that is kind of an interesting dichotomy to present for Harley Quinn and like the show as a whole, like her character as a whole, even because, I mean, there's levels to this shit,
There are, some people are vigilantes, some people are evil for a sense of a greater purpose, like eco-terrorism, is a great example. Or you're evil for the sake of money, but you're not going to kill nobody for it, And then there's
that's Kite Man level.
Yeah, exactly. Kite Man's just like, hey, I got skills, I can go get money. Obviously not enough because he's still living in an apartment with a roommate, right. But yeah. And then there's super fucked up, love the chaos and love all the bullshit evil, like like the big the big names we know, like your Joker and apparently Queen of Fables now, and Two-Face, Scarecrow, all those guys, the formidable. They could take out the city if they wanted to, guys. Yeah.
Now to go off the cuff, but that reminded me of something.
Please.
I've recently finished the latest trade paperback in Tom King's run on Batman. I think volume 11.
Okay.
So over here. But
I'm so used to binging this. I know. We got a new bookshelf, guys. The old one that broke. Well, it was about to break. It finally broke.
Yeah. It did.
It died.
There was a casualty, unfortunately.
It was.
Yeah. It was. God damn it.
Hey. To your book.
Yeah, to my fucking book. I'm going to pay $75 to get a new copy of Astonishing X-Men when it comes out in like fucking April. Anyways, but no, the book, like the actual main storyline, it was okay. It was whatever. There's some interesting points, but that's not the main thing.
Okay.
The second half of the book is like a bunch of just kind of like other stories. And they were all really interesting. They were all really cool. One was about the Joker. He finally had Batman strung him. He was about to really, he's about to unmask the Batman, dress up as him, commit a bunch of crimes, dress as him, and then kill Batman. Just a real over the top thematic plan he had.
Okay.
But then he realized like it was just a comedic bit because Batman barely said anything in this short story.
Okay.
Joker couldn't get the fucking costume off of him. There was always a contingency in place. And so it was just like a funny kind of seeing Joker getting frustrated. There was one about Psycho Pirate and like the cult of people that followed him. That one was more deep and sombering. But then there was one with Bane that was really good too about his childhood. But the one I really enjoyed the most was one about the Riddler. And because the one with the Riddler, it was presented in the form of like flashbacks, in the sense of he was being interviewed by a new psychiatrist at Gotham, and the psychiatrist or at Arkham. The psychiatrist was really good at his job, super good psychiatrist, and he was trying to figure out, so why is it that you do the things that you do, and then they kind of go back and they show you the crime you committed that got him there. And the psychiatrist comes to the conclusion of you're doing this because you want to get caught. Like you have all the opportunities in the world, but in the end, you do this simply because you enjoy it and you feel like you do deserve this. Everybody that is part of your riddles has in some way wronged you, inconvenienced you. That's why you do these things. What's most interesting is that this is the first comic I read with the Riddler in it. Where at the beginning of the story, they tell you, "Hey, there's a riddle in here for you, and if you can figure it out, then that's great." And by the end of the story, when the psychiatrist gives his whole spiel on the Riddler, Riddler goes, because it's a very compelling reasoning that the psychiatrist gives, but Riddler just says, "I told you the answer and you didn't get it at all." And so at that point I said, I gotta go back and figure out this fucking riddle. And so I went back and I was able to...
It sounds fascinating.
It was fascinating, yeah. I was able to go back and piece it together, and I'm not going to ruin it in case some of you haven't read it or are looking forward to reading it.
Okay.
But it was very cool, and it just got me thinking about the levels of evil and like why certain villains do certain things. But it was very cool, very, very interesting. Yeah, definitely give that one a check out.
Some homework for the homies.
Yeah.
Tom King.
He didn't write that short story though.
Anyway. Okay. Well.
It was just in the back of his book. Anyways, but to wrap this one up though, we get Giant Ivy, and she catches a harpoon through
the torso.
Through the torso, yeah. Via the Joker.
And she shrinks back down to normal size now that all the super juice is out of her. That's why I'm calling it the fear toxin.
Yeah.
And we just see flowers glow and continue to grow in such a big way where her blood kind of spilled. And it's a really sombering moment, and we don't know what the hell's going to happen there. And that's where they cut off the episode.
Let me ask you this. What do you think is going to come of this?
Dude, I really don't want her to die. There's got to be a way to fix that, because it's a cartoon. I feel like whatever they do, it's one of those things where it's like, okay, because this is a cartoon, that's permitted. Like you can get away with that. I just really want them to because I really enjoy the character. You know, I'm not ready for Poison Ivy to go yet. Yeah. What about you?
So I kind of attribute like the same thing that I give to comic books, and that is oftentimes. Like the cliche goes, like with time grows fondness of the character. So if she really is quote unquote dead, or even presumed dead, let the character stay that way for a while before you bring them back. I mean, because what I'm afraid of the most, especially with the pace of this show, is that she comes back in the next episode, and she's A-okay again, and it's like. So I technically have 1 week to kind of stew on this one episode, and that's
the resolution.
Yeah, that's the resolution.
Yeah, and I'm not prepared for her to come back so quickly. Like maybe next episode we see her beginning to become like hospitalized or some kind, like medicated or put in some type of like gestation plant pod. I don't know, something like that. But yeah, you're right. Where we don't want something cool and powerful and dramatic like this, because it was cool and powerful and very dramatic, because we didn't want it to happen, but it did. We don't want that to lose its impact. We don't want that moment to lose its power on us, because that's what made for some cool, compelling storytelling.
Absolutely.
Cool, compelling storytelling. Dude, that's a little bit of a tongue twister. Yeah, I might have to, ooh, that sounds like a bad spell. But yeah, man.
Because if she comes back next episode, then what did any of that mean?
No, exactly. Yeah. That's where you lose your impact. Yeah. Luckily, we watched the preview for episode 13, the final joke, and we don't see Ivy.
Yeah. It'd be a crime, even if she is alive, which I don't like that idea, but even if she was, it'd be a crime to show her in the preview,
Right. That's like, okay, who planned this shit? You guys have been going great this whole time. Who stumbled?
You had one job, whoever you are.
Right.
One job. But yeah, and also, like, this was impactful for a couple of reasons. One, because we all love this character, this Poison Ivy. But also because how fucking evil does that make the Joker?
It really does. Yeah. It served its purpose because now everyone's like, okay, no, Harley, go fuck that guy up.
Yeah.
Batman, where are you? Help us fuck this guy up.
Right.
Yeah.
But yeah, and that's where they leave us with this episode. We've had a few cliffhangers with this series, but this is probably the biggest one considering the impact.
Yep.
Overall, really enjoyed the episode. Can't wait till next week.
Same here, man. I mean, this show's already been a winner for me. It's already super awesome. Cannot wait to talk about it more at the Superhero Homie Awards at the end of the year.
Oh yes.
But yeah, man.
Yeah. And we joked about this before. Like, this could be the first show to be nominated 2 years in a row for the same season of television.
Right. Yeah. it had that awkward enough placement for it. It really works. But yeah, guys.
Which was brilliant on their part. They wanted to win 2 homies or double the chances.
They did it well.
Yep.
Yeah.
But no, that's all we have for this episode, guys.
Hell yeah. Prepare next week, guys, for the last episode of the Harley Quinn animated series. And after that, we'll tell you what's going to go on for the Shorty series.
Oh, yeah.
But in between now and then, feel free to occupy the time within this week to check out our Patreon page if you're new to the whole Superhero Homies podcasting crew. Patreon page, that's where we get to talk about a lot more of our fun and other dorky passions and things of the nature that we love. Things like recent movies such as Sonic, The Gentleman, fucking Bad Boys 3.
We even did the new Grudge movie that came out at the top of the year.
We did do the new Grudge movie.
Yes.
Yeah, but you didn't hear us talk about that shit.
We don't just cover movies, though. We'll be covering Project Kakarot here soon, too.
Hell yeah. And the big popular topics like your Witcher and your Mandalorian, all that good shit.
All that's on Patreon, guys.
Hell yeah. Available to you at patreon.com/superhero homies. Or, of course, you could always simply just Google Patreon Superhero Homies, and you'll get there. $1 gets you most things, and $3, your kind donation, will get you everything. And it'll mean everything to us, too.
Hey, fucking man to that. And if you guys have any kind of suggestions or input that you'd like from us, then hit us up at superherohomies@gmail.com or any of our social media outlets. We're always active and live taking suggestions.
Hell yeah.
So until next time, guys, my name is Superhero Homie Q.
And as always, I am Superhero Homie Kevin.